Good day. This message is being sent to you to accompany the ballot which has been sent out in respect of the expulsion of Hermann Kelly. That ballot is issued to the membership of the Irish Freedom Party to decide whether to ratify the expulsion of Hermann Kelly from the party. The National Executive has determined that Mr. Kelly has repeatedly acted in a manner contrary to the party's democratic processes and constitution. His actions include calling a meeting without the approval of the Ard Comhairle, and falsely representing it as an Ardèche, and appointing individuals to officer positions without proper authority. These actions undermine both the integrity of the party's governance and the democratic mandate of its members. For this reason, the National Executive has taken the decision to expel Mr. Kelly, and now seeks the ratification of that decision by the full membership. I, in particular, requested that even though we are entitled to expel Mr. Kelly, given his past involvement, it was necessary to get ratification of the members to it. By voting in this ballot, members are exercising their right to confirm or reject this expulsion and to safeguard the democratic functioning of the Irish Freedom Party. Now, I know that there are many who will say that expelling Hermann from the party is harsh, given the contribution he has made over the years. However, I want to remind you of some of the other things which have happened. In the wake of this bogus Ardèche, at which only 12 people attended, access was blocked to a number of party assets, including the Zoho account on the webpage. A campaign of vitriol and disinformation was launched against me personally. You cannot possibly have somebody setting up party meetings and claiming leadership without reference to the Ard Comhairle. In front of some 50 witnesses, Hermann accepted the position of the motion passed at the Ardèche last May. He has since appealed to the 66% rule, but as I have repeatedly said, I have never accepted that it was necessary to amend the Constitution to remove a manifestly incompetent president. I included an amendment to the Constitution in the motion, not because I felt it was necessary, but because I wanted to ensure that there would be no comeback by those seeking to use the Constitution to prevent the party from developing properly. I now, however, want to quote directly from the Constitution to you, insofar as what it says in regard to making changes. Part 7 of the Constitution states, the provision of this Constitution may be altered by a 2/3 majority vote of any Ardèche, or of a special conference that may be called for the purpose. At the Ardèche last May, the motion which I proposed, including the constitutional amendment if you think it was necessary, which I don't, but if you believe that, that was passed unanimously, not by 2/3, but by 100% of those present. There was no dissenting voice whatever to it. So to suggest that it is not valid is ridiculous. I also quote the following: the interpretation of these provisions and the making of arrangements from matters not specifically laid down in them shall be the responsibility of the Ard Comhairle. In other words, if there's a doubt as to whether something requires a constitutional amendment or not, it's a matter for the Ard Comhairle to decide. The Ard Comhairle has decided that a constitutional amendment is not necessary to do what we did. In the full presence of everybody at the Ardèche last May, Hermann accepted that the motion had been passed and even contributed to the debate on how it would proceed. He now claims that none of this had any validity and is acting as if it never happened. And this is the man, after all that, who has the effrontery to call me a liar on this matter. Those who know me as a man of some patience, perhaps even to a fault. But my patience with Mr. Kelly has worn thin. On several occasions over the last months, I have sent text messages and tried to attempt to phone Hermann, asking him to desist from his repeated efforts to undermine the unity discussions that we had, including his attacks against Mr. Jim Ferguson, a person of international calibre who was of great assistance to us. I had said that Hermann could play a significant future role in the party, and of course he was free to stand for the leadership again at the upcoming Ardèche. However, his most recent actions simply make that impossible. Hermann has a long history of alienating excellent people within the party. The number of potential candidates we have lost as a direct result of his pointless attacks is simply out of number. I understand that we have, over the past 7 years or so, had almost 2,500 people as members at one time or another. We're now down to around some 400 to 450, and I suggest that this is in no small measure due to the aggression and the sheer lack of sophistication of Hermann as a former leader. There is no possibility whatever of uniting the nationalist cause in this country while he remains a prominent member of our party. Given his actions over the last week or so, under no circumstances am I prepared to remain in the party unless he is expelled. I'm sorry if that sounds like an ultimatum, but I, as well as many others, have better things to be doing with my time and with my life than dealing with a man like Hermann Kelly. It was my intention that we would be having our Ardèche round now, but we have to deal with this poison first. We have to launch this pestilence, or we are going nowhere as a party. We urgently need to move forward and let the new leadership team be elected. And we take down the process of uniting Irish nationalism, on which we have made significant strides over the last months, despite Hermann's best efforts. Remember, he absolutely opposed the Unity Project and has persistently tried to undermine it. I want to make clear as well that it is very important for members to vote in this matter. There's no point in being a member of a party and not participating in its processes. Whoever the new leadership team is, and I hope that people will put themselves forward for leadership at the next Ardèche, they will need support, and they will need people to roll up their sleeves and get actively involved. You cannot expect a small number of people to carry the burden of a party without the time and financial support of its members. To move our party forward, we need an overwhelming vote to get rid of Hermann Kelly and to look to the future. If such a vote is not available, I do not see a future for this party, even though there is clearly an open goal looming before us with the incompetence of the present government and administration at so many different levels. Thank you for listening, and please, whatever you do, make sure you come out and vote on this crucial matter. Thank you very much.